Greetings again. I'm doing another video on the Crimean Peninsula because of a war that was fought there in the 1850s. On this map, that's showing you Ukraine, Russia, Western Europe. That red thing is the Crimean Peninsula, and at the bottom of that peninsula is a city called Sevastopol. That war was between Russia on one side, fighting in the Crimea, against Britain, France, Ottoman Turkey, and Sardinia. Now, Sardinia is kind of a weird thing, but Sardinia wanted to be in that war so that their international prestige would move up so that they could be part of the unification of Italy, which they were. And in the 1870s, Italy did become what we know as today's modern Italy, thanks to Sardinia and their leader. So the Crimean War, again, was from October 1853 to March of 1856. The most famous person you've ever heard of in the Crimean War is Florence Nightingale for her nursing help with so many of the wounded and sick people in that war. It is interesting that the disease called dysentery, it is said, killed more people than bullets in that war. Dysentery, of course, for those of you who don't know, if you are fighting a war and there's an area of where soldiers are and the soldiers try to build latrines so they can go to the bathroom far enough away, well, in the Crimea it's a little bit more congested, and so the latrines oftentimes got blown up by shells, and that water got mixed with good water, and then people drank the good water and thinking it was good, but it wasn't good for you, and then they got dysentery, and it gives you diarrhea that makes the word diarrhea seem mild, and you die of dehydration. And so more people died of dysentery in that war, they say, than even all the battles with the bullets. So Florence Nightingale's set up, and you understand that this war is taking place in Russia against 4 other countries. It also demonstrated the tremendous backwardness of Russia for countries that were far away by water, having to sail all the way to get to the Crimean Peninsula and then fight a battle at Sevastopol, and for the Russians to lose suggested that Russia was behind in the 1850s. They didn't catch up. By World War I, they were way behind, and it's one of the reasons that Russia collapses in World War I, has a revolution, etc. The thing that I really wanted to talk about was the impact that this war had on 2 aspects of American history. One, during the war itself, Russian wheat was very, very much cut off, and so American wheat farmers did fantastic in those years. And it's just interesting to see, like on a world scale, the American farmers were doing fantastic in 1854, 1855, 1856. And then when that war ended and the peace came and the wheat came back, the United States actually had a economic panic in 1857. That's just interesting to note. But the other huge part of why that matters to U.S. history is that in the Crimean War, the Russians and British were so antagonistic, obviously fighting a war, that Russia looked at its possessions, and its furthest possession, as you can see on the map, is Alaska. Alaska was owned by Russia for many, many, many years, and Russia was looking to get rid of it, partly because communications and stuff were so abysmal that a message from Alaska wouldn't get to like Moscow for a year's time. And they had found gold there, and they were so worried that another gold rush would come and simply take Alaska away from them. So in 1867, they orchestrated the selling of Alaska to the United States. But the point I'm making there is that the reason they sold it to the United States was it was like a little slap to the British. I mean, the British owned Canada. If you look at Canada, you certainly see that Alaska and California, Oregon, Washington are separated by part of British Columbia. And yet Russia did not want Britain to have all of the northern part of North America. So they sold Alaska to us in 1867. And I'm going to do a separate video on that. But it is because of the Crimean War in large part and our Civil War that delayed that sale, because we had our Civil War from 1861 to 1865, that resulted in Russia selling us Alaska for $7.2 million in 1867. Have a great day. Thank you.